Adrian, have you ever had a bad boss? Dot, dot, dot. Of course, we've all had bad bosses. Curious as to what
Uh,
your takeaways are.
yeah, because you and I are thinking of the same bad boss who I don't even know which one of these. He sort of fit many of these archetypes, but
Yeah.
yeah, I love the firefighter. I just kind of always he jumped in there because I hear this a lot. And I said I was dealing with it just recently with a boss that we're trying to coach and help, and wants to everything's 911. It's like or 999 in the UK, and
Yeah.
everything's an emergency. And I'm going to put the meetings in the morning or the after or the evening because I know you'll have to be there. Well, not everything is an emergency. And I love that idea. Like we keep tripping over the same rock, fix it, dig the rock up.
Yeah. I do love the titles of his guys. The
Yeah.
amnesiac, the boss that no matter how much you prep him, no matter how much information you give him, it's kind of like, so are you sure you sent that to
Yeah.
what was the subject headline?
Line. Yeah. Yeah.
What do you mean I already have that report? I would have
Yeah.
seen that. And of course, the idea of that boss is, look, I'm just so busy.
Yeah.
I'm just so important
Yeah.
that you need to follow up with me. I did love the emergency broadcaster guy too, which
Yeah.
which was always great.
Yeah. Yeah.
My biggest takeaway though was the Q-tip.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interestingly enough, quit taking it personally. It reminds me of the old Saturday Night Live routine. Where they'd interview the executive, and then it's him, right? It's not me. It's him, right? It's not me. It's him. And you just realize that it really isn't you. It really is them.
No, and I love that too. And I underlined that as well. Now it's easier said than done sometimes, and but and he's exactly right because he's been in these situations for 20 years at Microsoft. You go into a meeting, you're presenting all your stuff, you think you're brilliant, and then somebody says, "Why are we doing this? This is stupid," and they start picking apart your work that you've been working on for 3 months. Quit taking it personally. Your paychecks still go through.
Yeah.
It's not about you. Now, if you're in a constant chronic situation where that's happening to you all the time, that's where you're tripping over the same rock. But for the most part, we do have to realize I still have worth. My work has worth, but they pay the paychecks. This is what Marshall Goldsmith, our mentor, tells us. Right? Is look, the person who makes the decision makes the decision. That's you got to get over it and you got to move on, and it's hard sometimes.
Yeah. Last one for me is he said something my dad used to say all the time. He goes, happiness is a choice.
Yeah.
Choose to be happy, control what you can control.
Yeah.
And if it really gets bad, run to something positive. I love
Yeah.
that. I mean,
Yeah.
don't walk, run. The
I
old
like that. I'm going to write
commercial.
that down. Yeah, run to something positive. I think
Run
that's
to
really
something
good.
positive
Yeah.
and choose to be happy.
There's something positive in our lives, Chester, and I'm wondering if you could figure out who it might be.
It's so funny. It always comes back to the same person. And I
Mm-hmm.
think if he weren't in my life, would my life even be worth living? Of course, we're talking about the infamous. Go ahead, Adrian.
Brent Klein, our producer.
Yes,
We want to
that's
thank
the
Brent.
man. It's the magic. Yeah.
We want to thank Christy Lawrence, who helps us find amazing guests and keeps us on track, and all of you who listened in. If you like the podcast, share it, please, and we'd love you to visit thecultureworks.com for some free resources to help you and your team culture thrive.
And we love speaking to audiences literally all over the world, right? Virtually, in person, hybrid, on topics of culture, teamwork, resilience. Give us a call. We'd love to talk to you about your event. And please pick up a copy of the book, Anxiety at Work. One for you, one for a friend. Really some great tips in there. And it is so interesting, Adrian. As you and I go speak and we say, what would you like us to speak, about culture and gratitude and so on? Anxiety is always there. Help us with that. It's really high on our list. So give us a call. We'd love to speak at your event.
Yeah, I've never been a place where they say, no, we're pretty good with anxiety. No, that one's pretty good. We're actually too calm here. There's nothing going on. Yeah, exactly. Hey, thanks everybody. Chester, great to be with you. And big thanks to Eric Sharon. And until next time, everybody, we wish you the best of mental health.